So welcome everybody to Canada Guns Talk Show episode. What the fuck episode number is this? 100 and some shit.
112.
112. The LAMErship debate reactions. I'm crazy, and these. Introduce yourselves.
No.
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 I don't wanna.
You're not the boss of me. You're not my dad.
Well, fine. These there's me and these fuckers.
Here we go.
There's that guy. He
Swearing
hunts.
right off the hop.
Yeah,
Come
the
on,
guy
yes.
that hunts and some gun trainer with a fetish for feet and hills.
And 870s.
And 870s. That should have been your go-to insult. The 870.
Well, no, you are Foothills Firearms Training, the man with the fetish for feet and hills.
Oh.
Mhm.
I do want that place. Yes, that is me. Are we going to watch something? I don't think we are. I mean,
I
somebody
think
is.
Crazy's gonna watch. the debate.
Apparently, what we've heard is that I'm the only one torturing myself with this political garbage, and these two are going to sit here and laugh at me as I slowly go insane, watching these fucking idiots go and shit on each other and probably ruin the entire country.
They're not idiots. They're doing something very purposeful, not answering the questions, not having a real debate. But it's on purpose.
Teasing each other. Who knows what?
I am so looking forward to watching O'Toole's chances of becoming prime minister vanish into thin air, and all of our guns having to disappear in a few short weeks.
I didn't think he had a chance
Trudeau
from the
wins the
start,
election.
but then like when the polls came out, I was like, oh, interesting, and he started
Yeah, the
sliding
Biden
like
is-
way left. I was like, oh,
Do
interesting.
tell us.
Okay.
The problem is the polls have
preliminary,
been narrowed a lot.
In the preliminary viewing of the leadership debate, Tracy, why is O'Toole gonna go nowhere?
So the thing with this is between him and Trudeau, one or the other of them needs to win this debate in order to actually like gain momentum in the election. And the thing is, it's realistically going to be one of those two who wins this debate. I really don't think that everyone's going to be going afterwards and saying Jagmeet Singh won the debate. But frankly, if he does, that'd be fantastic because he's going to take a bunch of votes away from the Liberals. But realistically, O'Toole or Trudeau is probably going to win this debate. And whichever one of them does, they need to in order to gain the momentum back for their party. Trudeau lost all his momentum as soon as the election was called, and O'Toole shot way ahead. But now we're seeing in the polls that O'Toole is falling down to the
Just
point
a
where now
little bit. Just a little bit over the
338
last couple days.
338 has the seat numbers flipped again. The Liberals are ahead on seat count
Yeah.
because the problem is their vote efficiency in Ontario. They've got a lot of vote efficiency here, especially around the 416 and 905. Now, O'Toole flip-flopped on guns, and he has not been able to get he did that to try and get rid of the media attention on the gun issue that Trudeau backed him into a corner with in the first French debate. He made the mistake of saying the word assault weapon, and Trudeau just lunged at him, and the media would not shut up about it. The time to dodge that was during the debate, and afterwards it was too late. So he tried to get out of the whole thing by just reneging on a long-standing promise and just kind of being like, no, we'll review it, don't worry, we'll review it. But the thing with that is the polls are showing the PPC are gaining support. The Conservatives have lost support, even on the most pro-CPC polls. The Liberals have also managed to gain some support to the point where they're like Main Street has them neck and neck as of today. Ecos has the CPC maybe 3 points ahead. Nanos is flipping all over the place because Nanos is a weird daily tracker. They had the Liberals up yesterday and the Conservatives up today, and it's hard to follow. But like Leger had some neck and neck, and Leger had given the CPC a 4% lead earlier, like last week.
Okay, I'm gonna hold on to what you're saying and remind everybody that Hillary was pulling ahead of Trump.
I'm also going to remind everybody here that Canadian federal election polls have actually generally been fairly reliable and accurate for the federal election, and that the polls last election actually underestimated Liberal seat count by about 10 seats. That's the problem with this. Now, of course, there's been some changes since then, such as the Ontario election, where right in the week beforehand, suddenly there was a massive NDP surge, and the NDP were neck and neck with the Conservatives, except in reality they were nowhere near close, and the Conservatives were like 11, 12 points ahead of them, like they were 2 weeks before the election. And then there was Nova Scotia, where the Liberals were projected to get a slim majority, and instead the Conservatives came up out of nowhere to get a fairly decent majority. So there's been a couple of outliers here, especially in that regard. And there's also a lot of what the fuck's going on with the PPC is the other thing. The PPC are surging in a whole lot of these IVR polls that have the conservatives down, which is, I'm sure, getting conservative headquarters really concerned that Aaron O'Toole shitting on a bunch of the base has actually cost them. But
It's not going to happen. Those
So
votes aren't
you
gonna
gotta, yeah, like
materialize.
what Adrian's trying to say is just remember that nobody that wasn't already a fucking nut job was gonna vote for PCP or PPC or whatever the fuck their name is.
Well,
PC.
and the thing is, like, voting time comes around, you're going to look at it and you're going to say, oh, well, like, for whoever aligns more with the PPC or whatever, they're going to look at that and say, I align more here, but they have no chance of winning. If I vote for those guys, they're close enough. So I'll just...
There's enough of the nutcases I've seen who are PPC. I mean, granted,
it can't be 10%.
at this point, there's probably there's probably a whole bunch of plants from other parties trying to sow division among the right who oppose the shit, but a lot of the things I see from PPC supporters are, I don't care if they got no chance to win. I don't care if Trudeau gets in again. I'm going to burn the whole thing down. Trudeau will ruin the country so much that the Liberals will be done next election. Well, no, they won't. That's not going to fucking happen. Like, you wish that's never going to fucking happen.
Do you guys do anything with guns?
Yeah, let's talk about guns for a little bit. We'll get back to that stuff because the debate's going to start in like a minute here, right?
Yeah.
Go watch the debate.
Yeah.
Go watch
No.
Smith & Wesson actually sent me my revolver finally.
And how'd that work?
I haven't gotten the red shirt yet, so...
Oh, yeah. Those have been
I haven't gotten a chance to go shoot it.
Ever.
Did you feel sad sending the other one out?
No,
Wait,
I
but
felt
still-
happy sending it out in order to get one that hopefully doesn't spit back at me.
Yeah. Wait, no. So you did get it back. It was shitty, and that's when you had
Yeah.
to send it back.
Yeah,
With
I
the
got it back.
stretch
It had
gun.
the same problem. I sent them pictures of copper fouling hitting the top of the forcing cone, and with like shavings of copper on it there. And I got Crover to send me some pictures of his and what the forcing cone wear looked like, and mine had noticeably more wear on the top of the forcing cone than on the bottom. So that tells me that the cylinder was aligned slightly high, so that things were hitting the top of it as they were going down.
And it
as
just
soon as I
forces
sent those,
the bullet down into the barrel. Good to go.
but it was going and slicing bits of it off as it was doing that and flinging that shit back at me.
It forces
So-
whatever bullet is aligned with the barrel to go in, and anything that isn't, no good. That's the no good parts of the bullet.
Yep, but that's the problem, is that flings it back at me, hitting me all over here, and it actually seemed to affect the accuracy of the revolver a fair
Soak up
bit.
that lead, and that'll make you stronger.
But yeah, so that got, as soon as I sent them the pictures, they said, we sent this to here we go, let's get this started in English.
Like corporate Smith & Wesson.
Yeah, we sent this picture to Smith. We sent this info to Smith & Wesson's rep with the suggestion of replacing the revolver, and they agreed immediately. So
Fucking wasp around me somewhere.
Yep.
Issues with doing this outdoors. By the way, I'm outdoors. I'm on my deck.
Yeah, we can hear.
they're welcoming the party leaders.
Okay, quick. Talk about gun stuff first.
What did
So-
you do with guns, Adriel, in the 2.5 months since you did this?
A bunch of stuff. Well, I'm moving, so I either sold or transferred pretty much all my guns away. I've just got a couple here that need to be transported yet, so the people who bought them need to come pick them up and move them to their house. Just buddies and that kind of thing, right? Because I want to sell my place first and then buy, so I would need to show, and having like 3 or 4 gun safes full of guns and like shelves and shelves of ammo with locked and key and that kind of thing probably wouldn't fly that well. So they're going.
Never thought about
I got
that.
this in the mail. This is this part here. That's a Mantis X. It's like a little accelerometer kind of a thing. You attach it, you go over Bluetooth to your phone, and what it mostly does is just watch the on trigger press. Where does the barrel move, and how are you pressing that trigger? So really good for that. Works with live fire too. So if you take it to the range and you go blast some rounds off, it will compare your recoil control. So if you want to try some different grip things or whatnot, it'll tell you what the recoil's doing.
The moderator is kind of throwing shade at all of the people there. Please answer the questions you're asked and don't cut each other off.
Yeah, right. They're gonna do it anyways. It's
Again,
part of
they
the
will.
game. They have to.
Trudeau was apparently doing that a whole bunch in the French debate yesterday. I didn't watch it.
Yeah. Yeah. That happens.
From what I heard, Trudeau was just kind of like all over the free. There was one part that really made me funny. Is like, I have always been a Quebecer, and I will always work and do what I want with Quebec. I was like, okay, boss. That was fun.
Yep. What else I get? A bunch of random
you did a
stuff.
whole bunch of videos. You borrowed a whole bunch of guns from some jackass.
Borrowed a whole bunch of guns, yeah, from some jackass, aka you. I think I might have helped sell one for you. No? Helped or hurt?
Which one?
I don't know. I took pictures of everything. Anyways.
Oh, yes!
What about
the cheap version of what you're holding?
the Chinese version of this one, right? Yeah, because this
Yes.
is the Finnish version, and you had the Chinese version. This is a Valmet M78 Lmg, and it fires 308, and it is kind of heavy because it's an LMG. So, it's cool. It's an AK.
Are you gonna shoot a deer in the face with it?
I don't know if I'll have it that long, but I could.
Pterodactyl.
Yeah,
Do it.
shoots nice big 308. It is a very nice AK. Like, I've handled a couple of AKs and AK-ish rifles, and the dust cover, receiver cover, whatever this top cover is here.
Yes.
It's machined really nicely. It fits really nicely. Like, all the parts just exude quality out of this thing. So everything from like the little dog leg recoil spring guy here, like, it all fits really, really nicely in there, and it just feels so good. Nice quality gun.
So Singh just got asked, how are you going to pay for all your crap? You don't have a costed platform. And they're asking Justin Trudeau, why did you call this election and not be willing to work with the parties who said they would work with you?
Good. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, it's
Why are we dealing with this?
the election because he wanted a majority. Like, you look at all the provincial elections before that, and the incumbents got a majority. Is very clear strategic reason why he did it. That's gonna bite him in the ass.
Adriel, question. From your fancy fucking light machine gun, does it have a bolt hold open?
Why would you need one of those?
The moderators, Trudeau's talking about, blah, blah, whatever. And the moderator goes, couldn't that have happened now and not a few months from now? Like, why did you have to do this?
Didn't have to. That's the obvious part. Yeah, no bolt hold open on this bad boy. Don't need it.
Does it have trigger slap
she's
like all other AKs?
She's asking Blanchet about supporting Quebec's veil ban and stuff like that.
C21.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if they all gang up on Trudeau, that's good for us. Like, it's gotten to a point where it's anything but liberal for our sport, at least. Because I was thinking about this, like, if the Liberals get another minority, the municipal handgun ban will move forward, and that's going to brutalize the sport. We have 1 million restricted RPAL owners right now, but a whole schwack of them are in Toronto, Vancouver, and these major metropolitan cities, and they'll get wiped out. Quebec will get wiped out. If the feds are going to give $1 billion to the provinces in bribery money to make them enact a handgun ban, Quebec's toast, BC's toast, Alberta will be fine.
Yep.
For now.
Yeah, we'll buy your handguns.
So she asked about that, and his response was, your question begs an answer. You've already come to the conclusion that these are wrong. And then he's like, and also Quebec's a distinct nation, and Parliament recognized Quebec as a distinct nation. So basically, we can be as bigoted as we want to be.
Yeah. As long as Alberta gets that same privilege. And I consider bigoted to be, we'll just have our guns, please, and not care what the rest of the country wants.
Something did happen. Like, there were actual news that were not shit. We got our CFO.
Alberta got our CFO. Our CFO is awesome. All other provinces have inferior CFOs to our CFO.
I'd be willing to agree to that. Your CFO is a fantastic Japanese gun nerd.
Huge nerd.
Yep.
Like, there were some people saying that they met her years ago at like the Calgary gun show, and she just had like this giant display of Japanese handguns, and might have in fact the large majority, if not most of, if not all, the Nambu pistols in the country or something like that.
Our CFO has been on video with Ian from Forgotten Weapons. That's how big of a gun nerd our CFO is. Not even like Ian gets to like try out her guns or anything like that or show them off. Nope, gotta bring on the expert. She's the expert on those Japanese guns. So Nambu ATCs when? I need a wilderness carry.
Enemy Paul something that's just basically a fluff piece of promote the Green Party, pretty much.
Anime Paul.
That'd be so good.
Yeah.
I would drop money on an Ambu if that was the only ADC available.
They're asking O'Toole about climate conspiracies. So Cheryl Gallant. They're talking about
Who's
LGBT,
asking the questions?
but the moderator. So
Such an
she's
odd line of
basically
questions.
attacking the conservatives, being like, "You got SoCons. How will you deal with that?"
So is the moderator just attacking everyone equally? Is this the idea
Yeah.
of the debate? Oh, interesting. I like it.
The moderator's attacking everyone with pointed questions, except apparently the Greens.
They should ask them
Well, what do the
close-ended
Greens have-
questions that are odd.
Why would you attack the Greens? They will never form a government.
I don't even know if they're gonna get. Are they gonna get a seat this time?
The Greens?
the old
Yeah.
Elizabeth May one.
Elizabeth May. Her seat in Saanich Gulf Islands is like locked down.
But is that Anime Paul's writing?
So they asked O'Toole, "Is it you or your caucus driving the bus?" He just straight up said, "I am driving the bus."
Well, he's driving the bus, definitely. There's no question about that.
Right towards a fucking cliff.
Well, I mean, like it's very clear that he's
Honestly,
he's
that
driving.
was-
That's
the
fine.
guy is playing the game.
I was
like,
half distracted there, but that was not a terrible answer to that, especially when he straight up said, "I am in charge, so what I say goes."
He's said it
So-
a couple times before.
I can
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I can
Oh, they're
understand.
going after Trudeau about sexual misconduct now.
Yay!
You call yourself a feminist, but sexual misconduct,
Yay!
Well,
and it's between Trudeau and Paul, so they
with-
got the only female there.
Oh,
with
one
the
thing
most
that I
recent
would say is the elephant in the room.
mhm.
O'Toole dropping the OIC ban. He's playing politics, folks. It is a politician trying to get elected to be prime minister. So the people that are like, "Oh, he's just a liberal. Oh, he's just a blah blah blah. He's not true to gun owners. He's not true to anybody. He's a politician. He's gonna say whatever he wants to get in."
Basically, if you
That's it.
vote PPC, you're an idiot. Vote conservative.
It's not strategic.
You're going to lose.
anywhere.
What the hell is your what does your principle matter when you're voting for a party that runs like literal Nazis in candidate roles, like people who run white supremacy websites? Is that what you stand for? Is that your principle? And what the hell does your principle matter when Trudeau is going to win again and just shit all over it? If you think that the country is going to suddenly massively revolt against Trudeau because of another minority mandate of his, you're out of your fucking mind. It's not going to happen.
There's a place to do a protest vote, but it's
Enemy
not
Paul
the
is
selection.
thanking Jane Philpott and Jody Wilson-Raybould and Cesar Chavina Chavez by name after Trudeau gave some bullshit answer about, we need to improve our institutions, blah, 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 not ever taking any blame for himself for his candidates sexually assaulting people, stalking and breaking and entering into their ex-girlfriends' houses.
Hey man, all you gotta do is Trudeau is first and foremost a hypocrite, and I will
Enemy
never.
Paul just attacked the fact that liberals have never had a female leader. Trudeau said, "I will not take lessons on caucus management from you."
It's a good dig. But yeah, I had a Type 81 for about.
She
like
just
3 days?
she cut Trudeau off because he started talking about first female finance minister with Chrystia Freeland, and the moderator just went, "Yeah, shut up, we're moving on." Because that was right after Paul said, "You've never had a female leader of your party. I'm the only woman other than Elizabeth May to stand up here since Kim Campbell."
And we gotta thank her for those 32 and 25 ACP bans.
Blanchet straight up said, "I'm not interested in leading Canada."
Who said that?
Blanchet. He's
The
Bloc
Bloc
Québécois.
guy.
He literally can't. There's not enough ridings in Quebec.
It's like, I am not here for Canada. I am here for Quebec. I appreciate
Fine,
that.
yeah.
He's honest.
Yep. I kind of wish we had an Alberta party to do that, because they would vote with the cons for like everything, but every once in a while we could, like, I don't know, vote in our own interests rather than what the CPC does to us sometimes. But that
We do
said,
wonder
the
what it would be like.
CPC does most of what Alberta needs most of the time,
Yeah.
except when they're giving away our money.
So you did all the guns that you borrowed from some guy.
Yep.
And then
So
shot 3 gun
Blanchet talked about green energy, blah blah Quebec. O'Toole's talking about the West.
Hey.
Yeah, he doesn't
Where
need
they-
to.
And mentioning the fact that we're importing Saudi and Venezuelan oil because we're attacking our own sector.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Yeah, so I shot a bunch of guns. Shot 3-gun. Brought my kid to a 3-gun. He shot some 3-gun.
That's
was
right.
awesome.
I saw
Mhm.
that.
Mhm.
And you also brought a very attractive white-haired lawyer with you.
Mm-hmm. White-haired
Who
lawyer
couldn't
went.
join us today.
shooting
Runkel
some
wanted
3-gun.
to be here, but he's actually working on his Section 74 hearing stuff. So he really
Singh just
should
accused
do that.
O'Toole of not believing in climate crisis and Trudeau of not acting like there is one.
Yeah.
Valid point.
Sounds spicy. It sounds like they're throwing around the accusations wildly, which you'd expect from the English debate.
O'Toole is attacking Singh because Singh is basically talking about wanting to shut down the resource sector.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
O'Toole basically managed to cut Singh off on that and take control of that.
I think that might be the avenue he should take today. He just swing it. Just swing that dick around and just earn it. Earn it.
Yeah. Yeah, I got that Lynx belt. So I was thinking about like what kind of belt to get for my kid, and the one he has right now is just a little bit too small. So I got the Lynx belt because you can just keep adding links to it and expanding it. So as he grows,
Giving
the belt
Blanchet the
grows.
last word.
Puedes parar al lado, no te ves. Come on, Danny. Come have a seat.
So basically, O'Toole and Singh just fought each other, with Singh saying basically we need to fuck over oil and prop up green stuff, and O'Toole saying we need to help everyone, including oil.
Hi. Hi.
Danny, say hi.
I mean, you don't need to. You don't need to help oil. You
Oh,
just
they're
need
bringing
to,
up
like,
Afghanistan.
Yeah. I don't know that anyone would have done that differently. But
I will say they could have, been paying attention to the military.
They're starting with O'Toole.
Yeah, the news was saying that the military basically couldn't reach the PMO office for like 3 days, saying like
Yeah,
we're
wouldn't
ready to go.
yeah,
We're
they could have
ready
got
to
like
pick up
they could have
people.
got like a couple of extra flights in there, but what's
But
it
I
amount
mean,
to?
O'Toole's attacking a Trudeau. There were thousands of Canadians and hundreds of translators waiting. And what did you do? You called an election.
Solid point.
Yeah. I think he called the election
Oh, Danny,
after
you gotta go with Abuela. She's
before
gonna give you some milk. Danny, go get
the
your milk with
extract
Abuela.
of Afghanistan.
The
Say bye-bye,
Trudeau was
Danny,
about to
baby.
respond. The
Bye-bye.
moderator said, "This is not a debate. This is a response to question in a row. So shut off Trudeau trying to respond."
Well, I enjoy how much they're stopping the back and forth because in a lot of these debates, it's just like talking over each other. So it's nice if they're like keeping them to the
So
format.
O'Toole just attacked Trudeau on a bunch of that with like, you called the election when there were fires in BC, the pandemic's raging again. Trudeau can't even respond to him on that one until it's his turn. And the next one they gave was to Singh.
Which he'll pile on as well because Trudeau did call the election because he wanted a majority.
Singh
I hope
agreed
that
it's a bad decision to call the election.
Yeah, I think that's a good point to hammer home on. We should talk about guns in between this stuff though. Pull it up when they've got
not
some
really a
gun.
lot of
I
in
now
between.
have 2 10 gauges.
Only 2?
Two double, like, it's hilarious. I went into Proline in Inglewood here in Calgary, and there was just another one of my gun. There was just 2. Now there's 2. So I sold
So you
one
have-
because that first one that I bought was old and
I
crappy.
think they're going to let Trudeau talk last because apparently there was a draw. They skipped from Singh to Blanchet.
But yeah, now I have 2 of those 10 gauges, and I sold the one that was kind of beat up because this other one has got less wear. Yeah, wood is in better shape. The
Can you shoot
recoil
steel out of
pad-
it? Is it rated
See,
for steel?
the last one, the guy said that he was shooting 3.5-inch BBs, triple B out of it, steel shot. I don't want to shoot steel out of it because, number one, that shit's expensive.
It can
Number
be.
2,
Yeah.
I don't want to shoot that. If I want to shoot steel, I'll just run my Versamax because it's got a 3.5-inch chamber.
Yeah.
I can
They're
put
giving it to
1
Trudeau, which means
3/4
Paul is
ounce,
last.
1 1/4 and a 1/3 ounce loads instead of 1.5 ounce loads. Like, what the hell is the difference? You've made
More
you have that nice
power.
write-up.
That's the difference. Speaking of like
Well,
power and
you
shot
want
shells.
power? How about this bad boy here? 3.5-inch rifle slug.
What's the... Whoa, 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 whoa. I didn't know a Federal made a 3.5-inch slug. What's the... I need some specs here. Come on. Is that 10 gauge or 12?
10 gauge.
Now I wonder if that's got more power than like the what is it, the light commander. There's a 3.5-inch slug that you can get for 12 gauge that is monstrous.
Trudeau's response was just like
1 3/4
nothing.
ounces.
He was like, I feel like you are all insulting the armed forces who did their best, and we need to work harder to ensure more people get out of Afghanistan in the coming months. It's not good enough.
Jesus Christ.
Light Field Commander. It's a 1 3/8 ounce slug.
Paul just said we got more information on our smartphones than Trudeau got from his intelligence service.
just nasty digs the whole time. So that Light Field Commander is 1 3/8, but it's 1890 for velocity. What's the specs on that?
This one says 1280 feet per second.
Oh, that's still stanky for what, 1 3/4 ounce?
Yeah.
Ooh. I got that spreadsheet. I should check which one's got more power.
I'm pretty sure you told me that like this one was basically equivalent to a 3.5-inch Magnum slug or something.
They're going to open debate.
Oh, yeah, I've got it here. They're
going to open debate about the Chinese detentions.
Wow. 2,800 foot-pounds on yours. That light speed 4,800 foot-pounds in a 12 gauge. Could you imagine? That's like getting up into like 338 Lapua. Could you imagine firing that in a like an 8-pound shotgun? It would destroy your shoulder. Absolutely destroy it.
Which one was this? Is this a 12 gauge from hell?
No, the Light Field Commander.
It's a 12 gauge 3.5-inch Magnum slug.
Yeah.
It's a 1 1/8 ounce slug flying at 1,800 feet per second.
1 3/8. 1 3/8 ounce. 1,900.
That is
1890.
heavy. Yo.
And it's fast too, and that will obliterate your shoulder.
Like, because I remember when the whole 10,000 joule thing came out, someone brought out the 12 gauge from hell that someone made, which is a 3.5-inch 12 gauge slug that has brass slug that does go more than 10,000. It has more than 10,000 joules of energy because it's so fucking heavy and goes so fast.
Now you can get some 3.5-inch steel shot like duck and goose rounds that are right around the 4,000 foot-pound mark. That is a ton of recoil to put into a shot.
Is that like
shell.
the Remington
Hypersonic
or whatever?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that a copper shot or is it steel?
No, it's steel.
Steel. Yeah. But that's stanky. That is a ton of energy coming out of that thing.
Well, we put all of our hatred into the Cobra ducks, so we need to take them down with equal amounts of hatred.
Ugh. Could you imagine, like, in one of those layback blinds, like, pulling your shotgun up and not really having anywhere to move and just having that thing crunch into your shoulder? Oh,
O'Toole just brought out the fact that Trudeau didn't show up to the vote on condemning the Uyghur genocide. He's basically saying to Trudeau that we have not been present on the world stage. We've not been working with our allies on Huawei. We've not been working to help the 300,000 Canadians in Hong Kong.
There's 300,000 Canadians in Hong Kong? Interesting.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Trudeau just said, if you want to get the Michaels out, you do not simply lob tomatoes across the Pacific. I don't think that's landing the way he thinks it will. He brought up Harper on that one too. He said that's what Mr. Harper did. So there's the first Harper.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. Whatever.
I've been doing a bunch of maple seeds
O'Toole
too.
just brought up, you started as Prime Minister saying you admired China.
Hey,
Yeah.
there it is.
Yeah, I've been doing a bunch of maple seeds. I've put on 10, something like that. It's been a stunted year for us because coronavirus and whatnot, but
Rona.
The Rona.
So I did a thing. I'm gonna see if I can present it. Today I went shooting and
Singh tried bringing up the long-term care homes, and the moderator cut him off and said, "This is China." like the moderator said,
No.
"We're talking about China. We'll have time for that later."
That's interesting. Sounds like an interesting
shit
debate.
showing? I don't know if it's showing.
No, it says watch stream. Here, I'll watch your stream. Then everyone else will watch the stream too.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, I did that.
Well, you're supposed to
Let's see
zoom
this
in so you can't see that one hole in the top left.
I know, but I want to say that was iron sights at 100 yards with a K31.
That's good for irons on that. Wow.
I don't think I can do. You got an inch or just under an inch there. I don't think I could do under an inch with irons. Not with the K31 factory ones. Maybe with the they got a fancy peep set you can get for the K31. Those ones are really nice. You can do quite a bit better with those.
What I want to say
Very
is
nice.
that was done with just the serial that the gun came with, and then I try to fuck around with because it's got a really interesting front sight post for adjusting for windage. It's not the elevation.
Blanche said throwing tomatoes might not be the solution, but I would assert that doing nothing is not the solution either. This is going so far how it needs to. Trudeau is just getting shat on by everybody.
Let him. Fuck
And he's
that
not
guy.
really responding all that well to it.
Whoa, what? There's a flip over.
Oh, he's talking about selling weapons to the Saudis.
Tritium.
What?
Yep, you got tritium there. Those are night sights.
Yeah. How do you know more about this gun? It's not even in your hands.
You see that a lot with all
Oh,
these,
is it what, night sights?
Yeah, you flip it over and it's got like a tritium insert on the back there.
It's probably way
LAMErship have it
dead,
as
but
well.
What's that?
the tritium is probably dead in that thing.
Oh yeah, it's dead. But
Oh, I need to get it way lower.
did it work?
I'm trying. No, it's there's nothing there. I mean, these things were made in the 80s, because Valmet stopped making these things somewhere in the mid 80s.
Ooh, somebody just did out. Oh,
This is
that
like
is
40 or
sad.
50 years old.
Ooh, go check out the.
Okay,
the most
Trudeau,
recent-
O'Toole said something about you need to be principled and blah, blah, whatever. Trudeau started to be like, you talk about principled, but you can't convince your candidates to get vaccinated. You can't convince your MPs to, and the moderator cut him off.
Well, I mean, Trudeau didn't promise that all his candidates are vaccinated, did he?
Trudeau promised, no, he tried that to O'Toole, but Trudeau did promise all that and then revealed that they weren't.
Yeah.
So somebody.
Now they're
did a
going into
whoopsie.
climate
Check it
change.
out.
This is a place
Check
where
out what
O'Toole's
somebody just
probably not
posted
going to
on
do too
Reddit.
well.
Yes, you are excited about your new gun and rushing to assemble it. No, Tika did not forget to tighten the screw. Yes, you now hate whatever a Mirage Strap is.
Okay, so I see a little mark on this. Oh!
Oops.
Oh. How did that happen?
I'm guessing the rail wasn't properly bolted.
Maybe it was just bolted at the rear and he tried lifting it by the scope?
Yeah, maybe.
That would twist it, but like, boy, that's huh.
I know. That's a big whoopsie.
She just called Miss Paul Mr. Paul for a second there and then had to correct it. It was a question about something with climate change and I missed it. It's a question from the audience, basically.
Oh, they're doing those?
Yeah,
That's
they
neat.
did that in the French one too. They had a kid come out for the climate change one in the
Mr.
French.
Trudeau, how many times did you brown face?
What I want to hear actually is, someone go to Trudeau, say something, and it'll be like, pot, meat, kettle, your blackface. That's what I want to hear.
Mirage Strap. That must be like a... There, you can get like scope covers that act as like a handle, like a carry handle for a rifle. Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe. Maybe he tried to do like a Barrett type situation, with like the carry handle and the big old heavy rifles. Generally, you don't have that attached to a rail. You have that attached to like the frame.
To
of
the
barrel.
scope. To the scope. Oh, what's this?
Oh, they have the person sitting there on video, listening to the responses.
Oh, so a Mirage Strap. You know that flat card you put on top of the barrel to keep it from.
Yeah.
That's what a Mirage Strap is. It's a band that you put over the barrel to keep from
I
the
should
Mirage.
ask that guy
from hurting you.
exactly what he did. There.
I don't know how
did he
that's
get that
supposed to torque up your ring like that, though.
Oh, I got an SVT, and I adjusted the gas system without a gas wrench by disassembling the gas system, tapping out the regulator, and reinserting it in the correct
The fact that you had to tap the regulator out is a bit interesting. It shouldn't have been that difficult to get out.
Corrosion,
it was carboned
oil.
up.
Yeah.
It was just carboned up.
Would you put it to 1.7 maximum stank?
No, 1.5. Just
1.5?
kind of like
O'Toole actually
one,
acknowledged
maybe
that Conservatives have not met Canadian targets on climate change and expectations. That's a rarity.
Neither have
That's a fair stretch.
neither
That's
have
a
the
fair
Liberals, right?
comment. No, Adriel, the very first shot on the 1.5,
Mhm.
give me a failure to, give me a stovepipe, give me a failure to eject.
Trudeau,
But it
O'Toole's
did
talking about
chamber
his
the round, and then
his
every other
eco
round after
bucks.
that, it was just putzing the brass. It wasn't like fucking pulling in the fuck out of the brass. It was just putzing it out of the gun. So that's
If you're
kind of
not
what I
if you're
wanted
not causing incipient case failure on every extraction, it's not enough.
it needs all the fucking stank. Just take a drill bit and just open up that gas port just to see there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you want
A
reliability.
little bit of
You want those
extra.
cases gone.
All the Type 97s, they throw their cases like 20 feet away.
Yeah, way up
I know.
the front there.
I had one try to go
Type
through my
81s.
lip 20 feet away.
So Blanchet, O'Toole talked about like his weird savings bucks green bullshit thing, whatever. Blanchet actually noted that the Liberals have given more subsidies to oil and gas than the Conservatives did, and he said that what Canada should be doing to curb climate change is capping our production of oil, which I think is a bad idea economically. We need to be letting it go. Oh, Trudeau's talking now, but
Well,
fuck my
the
opinion.
only thing that I'm going to try and get into that, and it's I really shouldn't be touching this because I'm not an expert in this, is the fact that after Biden canceled the expansion of that pipeline, he was then requesting OPEC increase production so that the U.S. could import more oil, which I just found to be hilarious at that point.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Trudeau's saying we have the best plan on the climate, and he's advertising his carbon tax.
Our plan is
That's-
the best plan. We have the best people working on it.
Basically, yeah,
gonna be
he said we
huge.
have the best plan. We blah blah carbon
The
tax.
biggest plan, like huge plan.
Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to show. I got shotgun shells that are practically good for the environment. It's bio
Hey,
ammo.
how's that working?
Is that the flower seed stuff?
No, it still seeds death, but they're compostable. The outside of the shell and the wadding are compostable.
Because I heard that they've got some that
the
are
metal is just metal because nobody cares about the metal, right?
The metal will
that,
decompose
they
by
got
itself.
flower seeds.
Yeah.
It's Trudeau
flower.
versus O'Toole on some people say climate change is not caused by people, and
I can't.
this is going to be a
O'Toole
weak
going
point for
that.
O'Toole, to be honest.
Yeah.
Honestly, he should. I mean, it is an approach to just adopt all the shit that is popular in the liberal platform while still keeping the stuff that is attractive to some conservatives and just try and steal votes away from the liberals that way. But then getting branded as just another liberal candidate.
There's people who are going to be attacking O'Toole for saying we have a plan. Apparently, he did a lot in the French debate. Just we have a plan, we have a plan, we have a plan.
Well,
He said that
his French isn't that good, so that's all right.
O'Toole brought up small modular reactors. Thank you. There were a lot of people saying in the French debate that were really disappointed that no one brought up nuclear. Nuclear is what we need in order to fight climate change in this country.
We need Fallout 3, but without the nukes.
I mean, if you get the nukes too, that's cool. Both.
I mean,
Trudeau's saying-
I'm a proponent for recreational nukes. Rescind the Fire
Trudeau's just
Act.
attacked O'Toole. Mr. O'Toole can't even convince his party that climate change is caused by people. Oh, Harper got mentioned twice now. His plan is to go back to the Harper targets, which is realistic. The Harper targets are realistic, for Christ's sake.
I should say, I actually grouped the 10 gauge.
The slugs?
Yeah. I did it standing.
The moderator is
25
cutting Trudeau
meters,
off
and I
because
put
Mr.
it
O'Toole is
in
trying to
a
respond.
pie-size plate. So,
Dead
if
moose.
a bear comes at me, I can take his head off.
Are you planning on hunting this year?
Oh,
I am.
he has great ambition. That's part of the reason we're in an election and a pandemic is his ambition.
What?
Oh, that's a nice little snide comment.
What did he say?
Oh, just that he's very ambitious, and you can see his ambition in the fact that he wants to do an election during a pandemic.
I've thought about
O'Toole
it.
brought the
We're
fact
gonna-
that Trudeau has never made a target, which I assume means he's never hit a target he's set.
O'Toole's not a federal leader. He's a politician.
Yeah, but
He says he's
no,
a
but
leader.
O'Toole said that to Trudeau. Trudeau has
Oh, I
made
see.
targets and has never, like he said, you have never made a target, Mr. Trudeau. I assume meaning he's never
Adriel,
hit them.
I've considered going hunting and I thought about the 10 gauge, and then I realized that's just
No.
not gonna happen.
As soon as you go hunting a couple times, you're like, oh, I could have got that deer
Singh
with
just said, "We
a
heard Mr.
better
O'Toole and
rifle."
Mr. Trudeau argue who's worse."
Oh yeah, no, I'm
Yeah.
gonna probably
Take the
go buy
best.
the next box of like fucking federal 30-06 ammo that I can find.
Take out a bolty
feel
with a scope and the
Oh
proper
no,
deal.
I have my Tika T3X Lite in 30-06.
I've got I got my 6.5 bolt Axis, which I don't care about, and I could sell for all I care. And then I've got my 6.5 Maverick, which I'd like to take out and shoot a deer with.
You should definitely shoot a deer with that.
Very AR-ish. I'd like to take some pictures with it too.
You should take some pictures of it.
Yep.
Is that under the
I might do
handguard
some
an extra
bow.
tube?
I might do some bow. Bow season opens, geez, in a week here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
actually.
Next week bow season opens. I should
need
next
to go pick up
weekend
my
I
tags.
should go to my brother's house and just like lazy hunt and see what shows up. Cuz like he's got an acreage, the deer are practically tame.
Oh.
Blanchet asked Mr. O'Toole to say we do not want a pipeline through Quebec because he said that in French apparently.
Yeah, it's a bunch of gotchas
Oh.
and
Blanchet,
you guys don't want a
I'm gonna
pipeline, then I guess
O'Toole
you
this
guys don't
time.
want
The
money.
moderator said no, you can't do that and let enemy Paul talk. Because Blanchet wanted O'Toole to basically pledge to not run a pipeline through Quebec in English because he pledged that in French. O'Toole was actually saying, "I'll take the time," so I'm expecting him to say, "We will not run a pipeline through Quebec," which is going to be very interesting.
he can't lose votes in the West, so it doesn't matter.
No, well, and especially with Legault supporting O'Toole today, Legault basically said, "If you vote for anyone but O'Toole, it's fucked for Quebec." Then that's gonna boost him a lot in that province. To be honest,
and one of the reasons he gave, and this is related to guns, is that the feds are overstepping their bounds and getting into provincial autonomy, getting into the jurisdiction of the provinces. One of the examples was like healthcare and cutting off health transfers to provinces who don't do what the feds want. The other example that is in the LPC platform right now is they want to pay provinces up to $1 billion to enact a municipal handgun ban. So they're like that, and that is outside of their purview in terms of this legislation, right? It's up to the provinces. So the fact that they're taxing everyone and only giving that money back to people who play ball is definitely overstepping their bounds. So it's a good comment
off there, but the thing is, Blanchet seems to be playing ball to actually help O'Toole in this, and I think this might actually have to do with Legault's endorsement today, because the Bloc is a Quebec-based party, and they generally want to just support Quebec. So if Legault has said, "I want O'Toole to be the one who is in charge," I think Blanchet is going here in the English debate, going, "If that's what Legault wants, then that's what I want," and I think he's trying to go and help O'Toole in this debate at the detriment of Trudeau, because that's what Legault said.
That's fine. That's politicking. We're watching 4D chess live.
Works out for us in this case. I mean, the repercussions of a liberal minority or majority is that handguns are toast by and large in our country.
I bet Trudeau why Canada's emissions are still going up.
I bet the RCMP would be emboldened to ban more stuff as a variance of whatever they get drunk and think is a variant. Whereas if the Conservatives get a minority, I don't know that anything else will change. Like they might put some of the plans on ice, but it's not like they can put a lot. They can't put through a lot of gun legislation as a minority government. All the other parties will turn it down, vote against it. So yeah, not really a lot that they could do. If they get a majority and they get that simplified classification in, that would be fantastic, because that really removes a huge headache out of all of this. Simplified classification.
Variant, dude, honestly, as soon as they get rid of that variant shit.
Variant and simplified classification, because right now we go back and forth. Oh, let's get the RCMP experts to say whether guns are legal or not. But like they're pretty incompetent in their job, and they seem to have an agenda. Oh, let's get the politicians to do that. And as soon as the vote turns, it goes bad for us, right?
She's asking Blanchet about when he was environment minister allowing oil exploration in Quebec.
Yeah. But
She asked Trudeau about his emissions targets. He brought up carbon pricing and blamed Harper again. The Conservatives didn't believe in it, so we had catching up to do, except, you know, Paul Martin and Jean Chrétien committed to targets in Kyoto that Harper had to get us out of to avoid punitive damages because they pledged those targets and increased our emissions by more than 20% compared to when they pledged it in 19 whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
The Liberals have never had a good track record on emissions, and Trudeau is no different on this, to be honest. They set ambitious targets. Everyone goes, oh my God, why is O'Toole backing down the target? Because the target was never going to be reached anyways. Trudeau's virtue signaling with it. He knows he's never going to reach that target, and he knows that it's just going to hurt his opponents to try and go back down to something more realistic, because now all the people who don't understand how unrealistic it is just go, why not that? Because we won't reach it. We're not going to be able to cut 45% of our emissions or whatever the hell. We're not even going to be able to make the Paris targets. Trudeau tried to say we will. We won't. We will not. No one is saying that we are going to be able to meet our Paris targets. Everyone's saying we're going to miss them.
As long as I get recreational news, I don't.
I missed Blanchet's entire response because I kind of don't care.
Yeah.
Recreational.
Recreational nukes.
Yeah.
That's my platform. Recreational nukes.
Anything else you want to know about my platform? That gives you a hint as to where it's going. Recreational nukes. Recreational cocaine and nukes.
Ooh, decriminalization of drugs.
Decriminalization? No, legalization. Legalization. Not decriminalization. Fully legalized. You want to go do fentanyl? Go ahead.
She's targeting O'Toole for his low carbon, his low emissions cut targets.
But here's the big question. Recreational marijuana nukes.
Okay, he brought up need a plan again, but he said we need a plan that will meet the targets, which is realistic. He's gone and said that Trudeau signed onto a thing and hasn't done it in the last 6 years, and blaming everyone else. Blaming Harper. But yeah, O'Toole is bringing up that we cut the targets to something realistic.
I've been doing so many freaking pals, it's hilarious. Like the amount of people wanting their licenses here. Like I know I'm a very small segment of the population. I'm busy as fuck. Like I'm seriously cranking out license all the time.
Hunting season coming up, right? They're not going to get their pal in time, but
potential group of 7 in Cochrane. It's just like, yeah, we want to do a private. It's like, okay, let's do it.
Nice. I want to do that.
So O'Toole brought up plan again. We said, I think it's important for Canada to have a plan that meets what we sign on to, which is something that none of the other parties can do, is the thing. So
yeah, I want to do some PAL stuff.
Oh, I just bought a 24-inch 357 Magnum lever action.
To go with your 12-inch? It's literally double the length.
It's literally double the length.
You should go and post a picture with it and the other one, never talk to me or my son again.
Yeah, that's going to be the plan. Then I'm going to sell the ranch hand because that thing is stupid.
You're selling the tiny one?
Those things are over $1,000.
The ranch hands?
The dumbest thing ever.
Yeah, the price went up. They stopped selling the Rossies, and well, the Henrys are like right around $1,000, aren't they?
Well, the thing is, the Henrys have this stupid tube thing, which is great if you're into that sort of thing. Otherwise, it's just a dumb gimmick, really. Now they're doing the side loading gate, so it's kind of like Henry sold as many as they could of their silly tube loaders, and then I'm not sure if they're intentionally kind of keeping things in the down low, but now they're just straight up selling side loading gates in all their flavors. They're even doing like their own little version of the Marlin Dark series, which, by the way, I love those tactical lever actions.
They're funny. They're very funny. I like them as a joke.
Have you seen the Rossi ones?
No, I've just seen the Mossberg.
It's full Picatinny or scope mounts with fiber optic sights.
As long as it's got room for like night vision and your standard PEC 2 like laser designator, like you need all that stuff on your lever action.
She asked Sting why
all they need is an M-lock handguard.
Had any plan on how to meet his targets.
I don't know what the
tax rich people.
And why he
That's
won't,
the plan.
And why he also says why he asked him why he won't commit to axing Trans Mountain.
It's already started.
Trans Mountain kind of like fun. Just get over it. It's going to happen.
Well, it's already a pipeline, right?
Yeah, it's an expansion. And I don't understand how people don't want that when it is cheaper and safer to transport by pipeline than any other method. It's just like
I mean, when
do
the
it.
rail blockades happened and Quebec was out of propane, people were like, I wonder what would happen if there was some other way than the rails to get things, across the country that are, fossil fuel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Oh,
it's
also, I bought another Remington 552.
552.
It is the semi-automatic version of the 572, the pump-action Remington, which is capable of shooting 22 long rifle, and 22 shorts. And it does it all reliably. So you're gonna get that gun to
It's
do a
open
review
debate
on
on
it, because
climate
I am
change.
sure
Now
you
this
haven't
is
done a
gonna be
review on
tough.
the 552, Adriel. I'm offering you a gun, Adriel.
The answer was always be yes. If I could sell my house first, I think I need to do that. I gotta sell. I'm just one of the things you can do with this.
Paul said the last candle maker was a person at the market corner. They're still candle makers because there's still candles. So
Disregard.
I don't know what the hell
that.
Paul's talking about here, but
Oh, that doesn't really come through that well, but it shows you like your score, your time, what's happening with it, like whether you're going up or down or whatever's happening with your shots, which is just kind of interesting. Just another fun thing to do.
They've been doing a lot with the ASL people on the side. They've got at least 2 people there because there's a possibility of 2 people talking at the same time, and they've been regularly rotating them out so they don't get tired.
Interesting.
This is what I have been up to.
O'Toole's talking about indigenous partnerships and national resources.
Look at that mug. Look
Is
at
that
that mug.
the topic they're on?
Yeah, they're debating open debate on climate change. And
Yeah,
so Toole
I
is
now
talking
have-
about how we need to have indigenous partnerships as it's part of reconciliation.
Over,
Alright.
man. Also, you know what he should do? Just completely fuck Trudeau over. Say, I will pledge $1 billion for ground penetrating radar. Let's find all those dead native kids. All of them. All of them.
That's one option. Yeah. I need to change his fiber.
Oh, Singh just brought up that Lytton was burned to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
The cost of an action is forest fires, flooding, and heat waves.
Have you ever changed the fiber on your pistol?
I need to
Isn't it
because
just
the
like
fiber
pop
fell
the
out of
old
my
one out, put a
CZ.
new one in and just nip it off?
You put one in, you melt the end a little bit, pull it back flush, cut it with a not an eighth, but like a little bit more than that of the end kind of sticking out, and then you melt it back, and then they just kind of melt from the sides. But fantastic! It makes a big difference in the brightness of it, because a lot of these get like really trashed, and or they fall out. I noticed my shadow was the front sight was loose. I
gotta sell my Shadow 2, my Shadow 1. I'm keeping the Shadow 2 because I got it for 900.
Trudeau's trying to claim we have not missed our targets. We are on track to exceeding our targets. Everyone keeps accusing me of this. Singh
we'll
attacked
exceed them, all right.
Trudeau. 6 years of basically no action on this. Now it's Singh and Trudeau going at each other now.
If you do get a bunch of bulk fiber optic rod, because you can get the little singles, but it's not worth it. You get the bulk stuff, and then
Actually, I've got some
chop
fiber
off.
optic that came with my Canic. I might want to look into whether I should do that into my CZ.
There's 2 sizes of fiber
I was gonna
optic.
say, you probably haven't, but the CZ might have actually been beat up enough.
Yeah, there's 2 sizes though, so you want to make sure that you've got the right size fiber optic. There's a bigger size and a smaller size. I think the CZ and the Dawsons typically use the smaller size.
Oh, by
fiber
the
optic.
way, Adrian,
Oh,
you really,
Singh just said to Trudeau, you've got the worst track record of all the G7 after 6 years for for emission reductions.
Let's go. You really need to get that Wrangler out. That thing is so fucking fun to shoot. Oh my
yeah.
god.
I did get it out and shot it a little bit, and then got the footage, and then Buddy bought it off me, and then because I'm moving, right? And then I checked the footage, and like there's no audio on the stuff that I did, like talking head kind of a thing, so I have to reshoot that.
Trudeau said O'Toole's got his
great, though.
plan, but he can't explain why his plan is being panned by experts. Blah, blah, whatever. That was his basically only attack at...
The problem with climate change experts is that they all have different opinions on how it should be done, and there's lots of room to move in the modeling for that profession.
The thing with the climate change experts is they basically just go for the plan that has the most ambitious targets and say this will be the best, and not take any consideration to how realistic it actually is to meet that plan.
Yeah, because that's not their purview. They're not economists.
That's what O'Toole said. He consulted to make sure his plan was realistic and achievable. Trudeau's trying to claim that his plan is achievable, because of course he will. He's not going to admit that his plan is ridiculous, but his plan's ridiculous.
Yeah.
They've given...
I don't know if it is.
Blanchet basically hasn't said anything. They've let mostly... There we go. They're getting Blanchet now.
I don't focus on a lot of matters at the federal level. All I care about is don't mess with my guns. And don't mess with my province so much, because like every time the feds want to do stuff, I just don't like it.
Just guns.
Just guns.
Recreational nukes.
Recreational nukes.
Recreational marijuana nukes.
Recreational AR-15s for coyote hunting. And marijuana.
Blanchet basically just quickly responded because he apparently had very little time, but has a lot of extra time on the clock. He hasn't really talked much. Oh, they're going to reconciliation. But Blanchet basically said, we need to stop thinking about the fact that we can't have economic growth and fight climate change. We need to develop technologies that can marry both of those so that we get economic growth while being able to be green. And that is true. What we should be doing with our oil earnings is reinvesting that in green technology, because that will be the future and we will be left behind. We have a chance to be investing our money.
Our oil money, you commie?
Yeah.
That's Albertans' oil money. Thank you very much.
And then what Alberta should be doing is investing in green energy to bring back all the jobs to Edmonton and Calgary that were lost when the oil industry collapsed.
We don't need to bring back the green jobs. We could. Alberta sends out $4,000 per capita per year for every man, woman, and child. $4,000 goes out of the province.
But wouldn't you rather have that be $12,000 by having Alberta be the center of Canada's green industry as well as the center of Canada's energy
not
economy?
At all. Not at all. Take that $4,000, send everyone to college to learn programming. Alberta will become the programming center of Canada. Boom, done. We could train everyone in technology.
The thing is, then you're going to leave that to the rest of the country. Then
no,
the rest of the country will start becoming
green tech.
Green tech is like green tech.
China. No, they do a ton. China right now, nuclear power. They build nuclear power plants like crazy. Solar. You want to like build solar power plants?
Solar shit.
China will build all that stuff. All that stuff gets manufactured there. It won't get manufactured here. There's no jobs there.
They're talking reconciliation. I've missed the question like I did with the climate change one, but Trudeau's talking about getting more Indigenous people to schools, the missing murdered Indigenous women and girls. And
we could make schools for them, and we could call them residential schools. It'll be great.
Let's not go there. Let's just not go there.
No.
You open the door. I'm just completing that thought that you started.
Nice place for them to stay, so they don't have to travel back and forth.
No, that was what Trudeau was saying. He's talking about having
horrible
higher education rates, because it is a truth that a lot of kids on the reserves drop out of high school. It's very there's a very high dropout rate on reserves, and that is a big problem. Is getting educated people on the reserves. A lot of the kids just don't see a future for themselves. So they're like, why the hell am I bothering with this education crap when there's nothing for me here? So that is a problem that needs to be addressed in those communities.
Yeah, I mean,
Blanchet's talking about ending the water advisories. I missed most of the rest of that.
I mean, a lot of people crapped on the Liberals for that, but they're doing stuff. Like they did end a whole bunch of boil water.
They ended a lot of them. There's still a lot more. They didn't meet their their targets.
They set out to, like overly ambitious targets.
There's a lot of annoying bureaucracy that goes with that, in that because it's on a reserve, it has to be an Indigenous company building it. It has to be Indigenous employees hired. And apparently what a lot of them do is they don't want wells. They want a treatment plant. They build a treatment plant, train an Indigenous person in the treatment plant, and the Indigenous person leaves that treatment plant for higher pay at a municipality, leaving no one at the treatment plant, so it falls into disrepair because no one there knows what to do because they're not willing to pay enough to keep people there.
So you have to pay a lot too, because like reserves are pretty poor condition. A lot of them
honestly,
are good, but a lot of them aren't.
The wells would be a better solution, but a lot of the reserves, since they basically get veto power on what's being done there, they say we don't want wells, we want a treatment plant, and that's really a bad idea in this regard. But
I know nothing about wells.
You dig a hole, and you put some bleach in it, and then
kind of like when you shoot at a piece of paper and you make a hole. Can you make a well with a gun?
No. Doesn't work. You can shock a well.
Ooh.
Just bleach. It's way cool. It's way less cool than it sounds.
You know what's shocking?
Uh-huh.
How well...
I like where you're going.
Trudeau with his answer by saying, trust is eroded when you make plans and don't meet them, by attacking Trudeau's things for other stuff. And O'Toole said, my first thing when I stood was a call to action on stuff in regards to reconciliation.
What was I gonna say? I keep forgetting to fucking take out all these fucking 357 and 38 loads that I made to shoot through the pistol. Because I've already shot him through the ranch hand, and we know that it works. So, but I literally taken out the 357 Magnum 3 times, and I keep forgetting to bring ammo for it twice. And then I ran out of time the third time to actually shoot.
Oh, that was a bad one. How do you restore trust of a prime minister who takes a knee one day and takes indigenous kids to court the next? Oh, Trudeau is losing this debate so far pretty hard.
So it's not that he's losing, it's everyone's just like piling up on him, which it works
that's
out
the thing
for
is
us.
he's not responding well either, is the thing. If people were piling on him and he had good comebacks, then that would be one thing. He doesn't. And a lot of his responses seem to be panicked and all over the place. He's trying to cut people off and talk over them because he doesn't know how really to respond to these things.
Yeah. Maybe his heart's just not in it. Maybe he's done. Just one term was enough.
We can only hope.
Maybe he just wants that cushy essence.
If we were Boucher and O'Toole against each other, this will be interesting.
The leader of the Liberal Party doesn't matter. The Liberal Party will always try to ban guns. If Trudeau's gone, someone else will take his place. It literally doesn't matter.
One thing that I've always wondered is just where does this come from? Like, where did that
early collusion with the Coalition for Gun Control, which is unproven, and that is not a statement of fact. But when you look at it, they gave the Coalition for Gun Control $300,000 in 2003 while Jean Chrétien was prime minister. The Coalition for Gun Control, there's been recent documents released that they were involved in the process of writing the Firearms Act. They were a lobby group that specifically started after the École Polytechnique shooting and lobbied the government hard on that. And basically they pivoted in to the Liberals there. And got themselves in there. And Wendy Sukier has made a fair bit of money off of doing this. As I understand, she got paid a fair bit of money consulting with South Africa on the development of their gun control. And when you look at South Africa, you can see how well that's gone. Yeah, it hasn't. But so that's the thing is when the Liberals are complaining, oh, I want an investigation of collusion between the NFA and the Conservatives, no one, for some reason, is asking for investigation of collusion between the Liberals and Police Suivant, the Coalition for Gun Control, or Doctors for Protection from Guns, even though during the 2019 election, Trudeau had a stop in Toronto with medical professionals. One of those professionals was the president of the Canadian Doctors for Protection from Guns.
Gomez, or
who was talking...
Ahmed?
Najima Ahmed. She was there.
The problem is she's also the president of the Canadian Medical Association or the Ontario Medical Association.
She's very high in there, but the thing is, she is a medical professional. But it was basically just a fluff piece of
also an activist
of all that. So, but they didn't disclose the fact that she's a leader of an anti-gun lobby. Even right now, Police Suivant today endorsed the Liberals after 2 months ago, shitting all over them, saying they're not doing anywhere near enough. The Liberals are asking the Elections Commissioner to investigate a quid pro quo for the Conservatives because Fred Delory used to be a lobbyist for the NFA. Nobody, for some reason, is asking to investigate a quid pro quo for the Liberals, given that Police Suivant has flipped their opinion like that at the hand of Trudeau now going and promising stricter gun control. Why is no one wondering whether there's a quid pro quo there as to whether or not Trudeau said, we'll do this because that's what you want as long as you endorse us? It seems to me that, there's a lot more of a connection there than anything to do with the NFA and the Conservatives.
I don't think that Poly really has a lot of pull other than the fact that they're able to get on CBC fairly easily.
There's a mouse over there underneath the drain pipe.
Mice are so stupid. I mean, you have to have some animal that like all the other animals eat, right? Mice.
Well, that's
I missed all of Blanchet versus O'Toole with whatever was just said about reconciliation. Yeah. This is not a topic that a lot of us have any of us really have any particular expertise on in this. No. Paul's talking about we need more Indigenous leadership on guiding the process of reconciliation.
There was this story that I wasn't heard. I think Chad told me this, Adriel.
Seems to be Paul Trudeau.
There was once a whole bunch of grouse in a tree, and he had a 22.
Mm-hmm.
And if you start shooting the ones at the bottom, The ones up top won't get scared. But if you shoot the ones at the top, they'll see one of their friends fall down, and then they'll get scared.
Let's get
So he
scared
just
of
shot
something
like
falling,
a bunch
yeah.
of them on the way up the tree.
I can't say
So
I've done that.
apparently,
but
my buddy who's paying more attention said Blanchet was basically throwing O'Toole a whole lot of bones. So it does sound like Blanchet is basically just following Legault, and basically like Legault wants O'Toole, I'll help him get O'Toole.
Julie, you were talking about grouse.
oh yeah, I've shot them when they're like right in front of me, and they like just. They've never really walked up to
Singh
me.
just said, Mr. Trudeau, calls to justice are out there, and you haven't acted on them. There's just a lot of people attacking him.
I was out hunting for rabbit and that kind of thing one time, and grouse because it was season. And I put my rifle next to me, and I took a leak, and I'm like totally oblivious. And 2 meters away, I start hearing. It started like chirping at me. I'm like, well, now you're in trouble.
Said
you could have just shut up and it would have been fine.
Trudeau said that they're not taking Indigenous kids to court, and Singh went, "You literally are. Like, this is a demonstrable thing. You literally are."
Yeah.
Mouse is still underneath that pipe over there.
I'm
convinced
Paul
saying we need
rat
more
shot.
diversity in politics. So,
And the Ruger single action just.
I mean, having a Ruger single action for grouse or things like that in the woods would be fantastic. I'd love it.
Yeah, I would love it too. That
And
Wrangler's
O'Toole,
fantastic.
during his leadership thing, promised to let you carry handguns on private land.
But can you hunt with one?
Again?
Because I'd want to hunt with my that
I mean,
Ruger
yes,
Wrangler.
that sounds like
Or the GSG.
it'd be a lot more tempting if.
Oh,
the
I don't know
GSG.
about the.
Wrangler.
I would
GSG,
take
I got a holster
the
for it.
revolver.
No, I got a holster for
If
the
you've already got a
GSG,
holster
though.
for it, it's
Just
understandable.
tuck it
Yeah.
into your sports jacket like Papa Harold does.
No,
If it's
you
legal, I
got the Wrangler, you
carry
gotta get Wild West.
outside the waistband, going on the side there. 1911 with a Dawson precision sights on it. Ooh. And multiple shot
Looking for that stupid
capacity on the grouse. I would do
just
that.
No. You need an FN57. You need to obliterate the fuck out of that grouse.
Like the idea of going out bow hunting or rifle hunting and having an outside the waistband holster 1911 and 22 is so good. That would be amazing for grouse and rabbit and that kind of thing. Perfect.
We've got someone from APTN News who's going to ask each leader a question on reconciliation.
Is it a 2-hour
APTN.
debate?
Aboriginal People's Television Network.
Oh, I see.
Is it a 2-hour debate?
It's a 2-hour debate, I think. So this is going to be going until
We're not gonna be
11.
here 2 hours.
I can't really do much more than what we got right now. I'll have to check in later for the gun stuff. Maybe I'll go watch it with my kids. Force them to go through that kind of pain.
This is the democratic process, bitch.
Yeah, it's painful. No one likes this.
I mean, the main thing with this right now is it's going exactly the way we need it to. O'Toole is actually doing well at the parts he's being asked about, and Trudeau is being completely demolished. Especially since it seems like Blanchet is on O'Toole's side after the whole thing with Legault this morning. I think this is actually going to be a debate that hopefully goes very well for O'Toole. The main thing that's going to be the problem is they're going to end this off with guns. Just like they have every other debate, they'll end this debate with guns. And that's the one thing where I can see everyone else dogpiling O'Toole, flip-flop this, assault weapon that, blah, blah, blah. And that's where O'Toole's going to probably come off seeming weaker. Is on that compared, because that'll be the one where everyone dogpiles him. And so that's the way that we can see this is whether Blanchet attacks O'Toole on that or whether he attacks Trudeau on the increase in violent crime. If Blanchet leaves O'Toole alone on that one, then we'll really be seeing that Blanchet is trying to fight for O'Toole in this debate, which is going to be really quite interesting. Yeah. And that's what I think at the end there is going to be the big tell, is how Blanchet responds in that portion of the debate, because that's likely to be the end. The part that'll also be the problem is the last thing that happens is the thing people remember the most. So O'Toole is most likely to falter right at the end of the debate, leaving that being the memorable part of it.
No one's watching this debate. The only people who are watching this debate are people who already have their mind up, like you or me.
The debates, there's a fair number of people actually do watch the debates to find this out, and a lot of people also pay attention to the political commentary in the newspapers the day after. This debates can have a very big effect on the vote. Brian
Global
Mulroney
has
won his majority.
45,000 people watching. CTV has 8,000 people watching. That was peanuts, man.
Yes, and that doesn't count the people who have it on their televisions.
CBC has 34,000 people watching. No one's using TV anymore.
I'm watching directly on CP. There's a lot of people. The boomers are going to be watching this on their televisions.
They already
Maybe.
made up their mind.
I've got a buddy whose or my coworker, his whole family is watching the debate right now on their TV.
Oh, if I'm gonna cap this off in any way, is if you know anybody that's thinking about voting, not for the Liberal Party, I mean not for the Conservative Party, just tell them to vote for the NDP. Split the fuck out of that.
Yep. So one of the things also is
where it
pay
makes
attention to
sense
pay attention to 338 Canada and see who the second place is in your riding. There are a number of ridings, especially in urban centers, where the NDP is in second place, or it might be the Bloc if you're in Quebec, rather than the Conservatives. And in those kinds of ridings, it makes more sense to vote for who's in second place than it does to vote for the Conservatives, because even if the NDP win that seat, that's a seat that doesn't go to the Liberals. And the main thing is ensuring Trudeau does not have the highest number of seats. It's very likely to be a minority here regardless. So you need to make sure that the minority is favoring the Conservatives in that kind of situation. And that means you have to vote NDP. If you're, say, for example, Parkdale High Park, that's an NDP Liberal toss-up in Toronto, vote NDP, because that's going to be more likely to benefit the Conservatives by robbing the Liberals of another seat. It is strategic voting, and that's the unfortunate thing with first past the post. And the main thing is voting People's Party is not going to help you literally anywhere, unless maybe you're in Beauce and you really want to get Max his one seat to stroke his ego even more, so he's even less likely to go and form a party constitution. But realistically, voting for PPC anywhere else is not going to help you. The PPC is an ego trip for Max. He's basically just using that party to fund his own lavish lifestyle he got used to as a member of parliament when he got his finances cut off, when he lost the Conservative leader debate and quit in a fucking fuss. You're voting for a party that isn't a real party. They've got no constitution. They've had no process for a leadership debate, no process for a leadership process. It's literally just Max going, I am the party and give me money so that I can go around acting like an idiot and getting arrested in Manitoba and the Atlantic and here and there.
You can stop giving us reasons why you're going to vote for them. We get that you like the PPC party and that you know everything about them.
What you're saying is vote PPC.
Yes, I think that's what I heard.
Well, what I'm saying is if you vote PPC, sell your guns because you don't deserve to have them.
Okay, I'm going to vote Liberal then, and then I'm okay?
Yeah, vote Liberal because they'll be buying the guns back from you.
If you could carry a gun, if you could have concealed carry, summer and winter fashion, because it's different, what would it be?
Oh, they've actually brought up the indigenous right to fish and hunt.
Probably that GSG 1911 because I'd want to hunt with it too. I don't care. Like I don't
carry
care.
That? Just everyday carry?
No, I wouldn't. I work from home. My everyday carry is like I'm at my desk right now. Like I could have a gun next to me if I wanted to.
Yeah, I work there most of the time.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say you are going to leave the home for whatever reason.
Go to Superstore. Am I getting strapped? No. I hate carrying, like, I have like 2 keys on my keychain. My wallet is like razor thin. Why would I carry something that's like 2 pounds and bulky
Apparently
shit?
Trudeau tried telling that reporter that all water advisories were ended when they're not. And that reporter's from APTN. I can expect that there's not going to be a favorable thing about Trudeau in APTN tomorrow.
Yeah. No, I would carry that 1911 just because it's like fantastic, it's accurate, and it would be fun to shoot grouse with. That'd be neat. For
out in the woods?
Or anywhere, just anywhere.
I was going to say everyday carry, but apparently now we're just talking about woods.
If I was everyday carry, if we're talking about what we have now and we're concealed carry, we're theoretically legal. For what I have now, it would be my Burst of Thunder 380 because it's the most compact pistol that I have.
That's probably a good option.
I'd really be looking to get if everything were legalized is a SIG P365.
The trigger on those is terrible though.
Whatever. The trigger, I mean, it's just striker fired gun. You can overcome that with training.
Compact, not just compact.
I would go subcompact because, quite frankly, I'm fat and I'm getting fatter, and I can't really appendix carry, and I don't really want a gun pointing at my dick.
I want something of the fat. You put it
just
right
pull it out from
there.
under my gut, and I want it small of my back, or I'd be getting cargos that have a holster built into one of the pockets. And so I need something that's not going to print in my cargos or against my back. So I need something nice and subcompact because I'm not a big guy, but I'm just getting a gut.
I'm gonna go with completely uncreative piece of shit, I would take my Glock 17 Gen 4.
You'd like a Glock 24 or something that's a little bit smaller than a 17. 17's like a full-fledged, full-size pistol.
Yeah, that's the second fucking mosquito I've killed. But no, like I have a 1911 holster, and it's like, fuck me, that thing is heavy. And then within a week, I bought that Glock 17, and it's like,
they're so light,
like a
right?
toy.
Yeah.
It feels like a fucking toy. So like, I don't think I like, and it came with the police detective holster. Like it's. Have you ever seen these, Adriel? They're the ones where you grab it and then you have to twist
Ooh,
the grip.
they're asking Trudeau about replacing the Indian Act.
Ooh.
No, I haven't seen the twist ones.
It literally, like, there is no button. It's not any kind of.
Trudeau ever
retention
committed to
I've ever seen.
dismantling
It
the
literally
Indian
is you
Act?
grab the gun, you twist the grip towards you, and that unlocks it. I think it must be a cop thing, honestly, because it like, I was looking at the reviews of the holster, and it's like, yeah, this is the best duty holster for detectives that just want to have the gun on them.
But don't need to like use it.
I had to look up
action.
reviews because I put the gun in the fucking holster. I was like, how the fuck do you get this thing out?
That's a good. It's good retention then.
I know it's really good. Like, you literally have to grab it and twist it in the proper way to be able to draw from it. It's really
I like
good
retention holsters.
It's actually like, it's an Uncle Mike something or another. Like, it's nothing fancy. I'll send you a link to it.
Yeah, I'm interested in that. That's cool.
Yeah. But if I was out in the woods, it would have to be my 8 and.
O'Toole just threw a
3-inch
shot at Jody
37
about
Magnum.
Jody Wilson-Raybould and Trudeau's treatment of her.
Ooh. Either that, or if I feel like being modern, it would be a Glock 20 and 10mm.
Ugh.
O'Toole's promising finalizing treaties, given that treaty negotiations have been happening, he said, for decades. So,
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
It sounds like a bureaucratic nightmare. Just like revising
Oh,
the Indian Act.
let's say the conservatives get in and they go, fuck all this nonsense. If it's under 26 inches, it's restricted, and so you can just build whatever the fuck you want. What would you build, AR-wise?
Yeah, AR. Yeah.
But like, what would you build AR-wise? Would you build like a 14.5?
No.
Singh is basically agreeing with O'Toole now on this.
I've got a.
And the moderator cut Trudeau off from responding.
I've got a 16-inch barrel. That's like a ultra match barrel. I'd probably like use that. It's not light, but I would use that for hunting and probably 3-gun at the same time. I don't know. I'd probably do a different upper for 3-gun just because.
Did you ever get to handle like a proper M16 A2?
Yeah.
Just
I shot an
polymer
M4
handbar,
in Vegas.
pencil
Yeah.
thin barrel, 20-inch barrel.
Yeah.
They're so fucking handy. Like when
Yeah.
they're like 7.5 pounds, it's like, wow.
Oh yeah, you could originally when they're selling them as hunting rifles, you can totally see it. It's a very handy little sporting rifle.
Oh, Trudeau's bringing up raising the flags. Come on. As if that matters.
Yeah.
Trudeau's attacking that as if that's a big thing.
I was very close to buying an SPO1 because it was just they're so sexy. Like with the flat slab side receiver without the guard around the mag release. No forward assist.
Forward assists are dumb anyways.
Chef's kiss. Like I had a friend of mine of the family who had one of those rifles, and I was like, man, getting that and then getting like a period correct 4x magnifier optic to go on the carry handle. Ooh.
I don't like the carry handle scopes or red dots. They're too high. Then they look stupid, and they're just stupid altogether.
Love it. I love it. It's I love it because that just calls to my Black Hawk Down fantasies.
Yeah. Well, it's very specific. Like if you're like growing up and you looked at the guns that are available in like the 80s and 90s and that kind of thing, that would like definitely check some
I
boxes.
really think I am a fan of that kind of shit because like I like all guns. I really do. As you can see from the fact that I keep buying stupid shit like that 24-inch barrel 357 Magnum lever action. It holds 12 rounds. It potentially holds 15 rounds of 38 special.
I'm too much of a modernist. Like when it comes to handguns and that kind of thing. Like I shoot a Beretta 92 or a SIG P26, and I just feel like, wow, this is dated. This is not a good gun anymore. It was a good gun back then.
I will say that
but
I have found some modern stuff just be completely abhorrent, like the P320. I fucking hate that pistol. It's so flippy. It's
But
way,
like
Blanchet brought up the fact that Quebec never signed the Constitution.
Okay, cool.
Big surprise.
They're not part of Canada. Sweet. Awesome. When does Alberta get that?
Can we take that signature?
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, shooting those handguns is like, oh, this is no good. And the fact that that P320, it's flippy, but it's like, that's not the goal of the gun. The goal of the gun isn't to make like the best shooting gun. The goal of that gun is to make something that you can adapt the entire frame to different size shooter hands, and you can
say that was a really neat concept.
Yeah. So like,
did you ever see the AR frames for the P320?
the frames for the P320 or the AR frames for the P320?
No, literally like an AR-15 frame for a P320 trigger pack.
Huh.
Like you could have a P320 trigger pack.
Yeah.
Then you pop open what is basically an AR-15 and you just drop in trigger. But since that's the serialized part, that's the gun.
Interesting. That sounds like some American thing. Something that would be like much more desirable there, where it's like, no, it's a
O'Toole
pistol.
brought up the fact that Trudeau mocked Indigenous protesters. Probably the one thing of thank you for your donation, as the lady said about water advisories.
Yeah.
Yep. No, yeah, Adriel, it wasn't a SHOT Show thing a couple of years ago, where it was basically an AR-15 upper and lower. The trigger pack of a P320 drops inside, and that's where the gun is.
Yeah, I'm like, that's neat. I was we were talking about the 80s and 90s and that kind of thing. I think about like the Glock 17 is actually a good example. Glock 17 versus like a P226 or a Beretta or something like that. Which would you rather carry? Like if you're a cop, donut eating cop on the beat every day, do you want to carry the one
17,
that's
man.
Yeah, of course, the Glock 17, right?
Going on to
You'd never want to
affordability
take,
now.
never want to take the heavy guns that have safeties and decockers and all this nonsense on them. No.
Just
the one with
man.
no buttons that you rack the round in and you holster it, and then at the end of the day, you take the mag out and you rack it and you click it into a bucket or something like that, and off you go. Or the snail that most attachments have.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I would get.
Because it's lighter,
That's
right?
why, like,
It's lighter.
It's
holds 17
ridiculous.
rounds.
Like, going from a 1911, because I literally bought those within a week of each other after not having handled them in months or years. It's ridiculous. It doesn't, like, why would you take the gun that is like 3 pounds versus the pistol that weighs 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds?
Oh yeah.
It's nonsense to try to pick anything else. Also, I have a PCC now, and that was fun.
Which PCC do you have?
Basic bitch Ruger, just a complete basic bitch.
The
Ruger
Ruger
with-
Charger.
There is one attack from Blanchet to the Conservatives, complaining that the Conservatives are not pledging to increase funding to the elderly. Because the question is from an elderly woman asking, I never thought I'd be working at my age, but I have to. How are you going to help elderly people afford to live?
Get a job.
Yeah.
Go pack some groceries. Go down to your local Safeway. They got the paper
Greet
bags
people at
back
the
and
Walmart.
everything. You remember packing the paper bags? The paper bags are back. You can pack those. You'll live longer too. If you just sit in that old folks' home all day, you're just gonna waste away. You might as well be packing groceries.
What were we talking about? I don't even remember what we were talking about. What were we talking about?
Okay,
the
I
lightness
disagree
of
that it's
Glocks.
hitting the seniors the hardest, O'Toole.
The lightness of Glocks. But yeah, I'll end this thing off and I don't know, go watch the debate and make some decisions.
Reason that we haven't been on for a while is because my wife decided to pop out another kid. I may have had something to do with it.
I hope you did.
I think I did.
Okay, good.
Be sure. This one I'm sure of. The other one was an accident. Little pre-cum baby.
Oh lordy.
When we went to the when we were at the clinic with
O'Toole basically pledged to double the CPP, I think, and complained about the fact that Trudeau's causing rampant inflation, and the Conservatives will cut inflation, cut the cost of groceries, and cut the cost of internet.
Be nice.
O'Toole's bringing up like CERB and stuff with the pandemic.
Oh, what would I build if ARs were back? I would definitely build an A2, just a straight A2.
I would start a build off of the KP15 polymer unitized lower, and I think there's enough people who are looking at one of those that they'd probably be able to get iRun guns to do a bulk buy of them from KE Arms to get them up here. I would definitely buy one of those.
Buy one of those for sure.
I'm not sure what I'd do with it. I don't know if I want to do a 12.5-inch 300 blackout build on it, or if I'd want to go with something that's a longer barrel, like accuracy.
A2 goodness, make it so.
I don't know if I do an A2 or if I do like a 24-inch, like ultra long range kind of shit.
Ooh, like
but my debate is: do I go compact or do I go long, or do I just?
Well, at that point, you might as well just swap the uppers. I mean,
it kind of, yeah.
How much velocity? You don't gain very much velocity on a 223 when you go to a 24-inch barrel.
I don't think so, but I think part of it is about the stability for like heavier shit, for like 70-something to 90-something grain.
I looked at it briefly, Adriel. Basically, once you go past 20, you're only gonna find bull barrels, and they're fucking thick. They're like the 9.27-inch diameter ones.
Well, the heavier the barrel, the better. So when you see the NRA big bore guys shooting their ARs out to long distance, they've got super heavy barrels, and it's because like as they rest it, you think about all the momentum and inertia in that barrel. It doesn't want to move a lot, so heavier is better.
That's why I'm thinking actually the heavy barrel will probably be a dumb idea for the KE arms lower, because its whole thing is lightness. So it might make a lot more sense to go with a compact 300 blackout and go for something that's very light in that regard.
Why get a 300 blackout though?
These are fucking meme.
Do a 300 blackout, have the same thing in 223.
Get a 50 Beowulf then. If you're gonna go for a meme, get a 50 Beowulf.
I don't know. The ideal is if ARs are legalized, hopefully suppressors would be coming fairly soon, and I know that that's where 300 blackout shines. But that's a bit wishful thinking.
Is 50 Beowulf below? What's the speed on those things?
I don't know. I've never really looked.
Sonic? I don't think so. It's supposed to go through engine block, so it's got to have some stank.
No, it won't go through an engine block. Nah, it's not even that fast. 1800 feet a second.
See, the thing with that is that's still above the speed of sound.
Yeah,
I know the thing with blackout is they've got a lot of subsonic.
So it's like the caliber 50 cal. You're gonna get a heavy bullet if you want one. You could probably get something that you could gun suppress.
Probably do like just a 12.5 300 blackout, and then build the same thing in a 223 on more or less the same platform, and swap between them. I just have to be very careful as to which one is in there at the time, so I don't load a 300 blackout in the 223 and blow the gun up.
Have you shot a 12.5-inch barrel DR?
I have not. Nice. The shortest I've done was my 14.5.
12 is like I've got a 12-inch barrel, and if I put a brake on it, it's unreasonable. Like I don't want to shoot it.
I had a 10.5-inch one that was stanky.
Yeah, with a flash hider or something, it's fine, but with a brake, it's just too much.
I mean, the ideal is of course a suppressor, but
yep.
Yeah, you're not going to put that on. You're going to want to put a brake on, and it feels like getting slapped in the face every time you shoot.
Oh, I love it.
I know that when you stand next to the SVT,
the SVT is not bad compared to that 12.
See, another thing I want to do is a meme gun compact, 7.5-inch with the collapsible NEA CCS on it. That stupid tiny compact that's just completely impractical for everything, but I just want it to be like, yo, look at my stupidly tiny AR with the hollow sun on top of it.
Be dope.
I'm
gonna go
either that or I go and buy that really stupidly long like fucking millet scope, slap it on top.
Yeah. Night. Have a good night, folks.
Yeah, I'm out of here too. Okay.
See ya.
Later, everyone.
Yeah.